subscribe, like, comment, and hit the notification bell.
Hey friends, how are y'all? Editing Brandy here. I had originally filmed this video as a grocery haul, meal plan, and meal prep. However, when I'm editing it, it is entirely too long to be one video. So I have decided to break it up into two parts. This first part will be the small grocery haul and meal plan, and then the next part will be the meal prep. Stay tuned for the meal prep. Good morning. It is the next day and I'm getting ready to start my first meal prep because it is a crock pot meal. So I want to get this going. So I'm going to do the beef tips and peppers. Meal, super simple, like so freaking simple. I'm just grabbing my ingredients. So minimal ingredients, especially to start off. It's literally pepper, onion, and beef stew meat. Like that is it. And then we'll add some things later. Actually, beef bouillon too. I'm trying to think. I don't think I add the gravy mix until later. I haven't made this meal in quite some time. So let's get cooking. I am 100%. Okay, so you could definitely, you know what, I'm gonna do this afterwards. But you could definitely, usually recipes that call for beef stew meat and crock pot meals, you sear off the stew meat with a little bit of flour or something in a hot skillet first. Or if you had a Ninja one, you could saute it directly in there. I honestly haven't found that there's a huge difference of pre-sauteing it in a slow cooker recipe. So we're going to skip that step. I'm ready to go work out. So don't got time for that crap. Just going to get a very large onion that has a bad spot. So we're going to cut that away. I usually don't use this serrated knife on onion. Not sure what I'm doing here. But it cooks down a lot. So you can really like just... It doesn't have to be like small pieces. I'll put them in slivers and then cut it in half because they cook down to like nothing. And I like, you know, I don't want mine to be so little that you can't find them in the recipe. We tried my homegrown peppers that are going in this recipe that last night. We took a bite of one. They're like Santa Fe peppers. And I have to say, they are very good. They have a little sweetness, but they also... have a little heat, which was surprising. So I'm going to put my one large onion in. And then next up is all my peppers. If you were doing this, typically I do this recipe with green bell peppers, which is funny because I don't like green bell peppers. But it's like the only way I'll eat green bell peppers. But I'm going to quickly cut up all these peppers. You're just going to cut off the top. See if I can show you. Cut off the top, slice them in half, and then I'm going to go over to the trash can. And I just take the tip of my knife, run it down each side, and it'll pop out that inside just like that. So therefore it's clean, and then I'll dice it up. So I'm going to do this underneath the trash can so I can get rid of all these seeds. So I got all my peppers cleaned up, and I have to say I'm a little nervous. They... smell hot. And usually I don't do this with hot peppers. So we shall see. I'm hoping all of them aren't that hot, or else this could be spicy. But I do love spicy. I'm probably cutting them a little smaller than I normally would because of my concern with the spice. I also would have put on a glove had I realized that these may be quite spicy. So I'm just really cutting them probably in about like 1/2 inch size, I guess. Cutting each one in half and a little, there we go, probably 1/4 inch bites is a better idea. So let me get all these cut up and into the crock pot. Oh, I don't think I said, these are Santa Fe peppers. They're from my garden. When you first are growing Santa Fe, they are all this yellow. And then if you leave them on the branch, if you pull them off, they won't change colors. But if you leave them, in about another, I found that it's like 4 weeks, they change red, orange, at different stages. I don't know if that has anything to do with the heat. The description of these peppers doesn't necessarily say that they're hot. It says it's like sweet. And I'll say that's what we found the other night, is they do have a sweetness like I would say a red bell pepper, but yet they have a heat considerable to like a jalapeno. So, but overall they had great flavor. If I need some more, I can go get some more out of my garden, because this is a pepper heavy meal. There's not a lot of substance to bulk up this meal. I don't know what other vegetables you could add. I think mushrooms would work, but I'm not gonna do any of that. I'm gonna cook it similar to my mom used to, except for these peppers versus green bell pepper. And then I'm just gonna take my stew meat, and this is lean stew meat. So I think it was like 4 points per serving. It was either 3 or 4. It was quite low. But stew meat, I want it chopped up into little bite-sized pieces just to make it go farther. Really, that's why I'm doing it. You know, we don't need every bite to be a ginormous chunk of meat, because this is 1.3 pounds and it was over $11, which is just crazy to me, because stew meat is not like a high-end slice of meat. Like I said, I know a lot of people, if they were using beef in a crock pot meal, they would kind of like douse this with a little bit of flour. I'm talking about like a tablespoon or 2, and render it off in a skillet first. But I don't find a huge bit of difference when I do that, so I am not going to. It's already almost noon, and I wanted to get my workout done early, so I'm in a rush. I may run up to Costco today, and if they have stew meat, I may just go ahead and buy some from there to break down and put it in my freezer, because I can guarantee it's not as expensive as this. This was like $8.50 a pound, which, like, that's steak prices. Okay, so everything is in there. Now I'm just going to season it up and add some liquid. I'm going to keep my seasoning really simple. I'll add more at the end, but I'm just going to do some salt. Ground pepper, garlic powder, and then beef bouillon. And I don't think I have much in here. No, I don't. I have probably about a tablespoon. I'm just going to go ahead and add that. And the reason being is I have like a liquid one that I may add later. But I'm going to fill this with water and add some water. I want to add enough water to give it somewhere to go, if you will. But I don't want to add too much where it becomes the vegetables will release water. So right there, that's 24 ounces. Let's give it a stir and I'll look at it. I will serve this over rice. And here in a bit, once it cooks a little, I'll add the brown gravy mix packages. And that's where a lot of the flavor comes from as well. So I don't add it from the beginning. Not sure why, just never really have. Okay, I'm going to cover this. That looks like a good amount of water. I don't think it needs to cover it. Maybe a little bit more. So we're going to add about 36 ounces of water. Yeah, there we go. Yep, 36 ounces. And I'm going to go low for 8 hours. And I'm here all day today. It's Sunday, so I can obviously check it throughout the day. Well, I got one meal down. I'm going to go get my workout in while I have the time, and then I'm gonna come back and we'll do breakfast, lunch, and we won't do the third dinner prep until later tonight, because we'll just like eat it for dinner tonight. Or no, that's not true. Yeah, we'll do that. I was trying to think. I was like, I may want this crock pot meal. It's over here. You can't see it, but no, I'll get the other one going. I am finished working out. I did a 40-minute run. It was really good, but now it's time to get this meal prep. And to be honest, I'm like excited about it, because I didn't realize, I think I probably can get all this prepped in like under an hour, not including like the work I already did on the crock pot, which is at 5 hours and 43 minutes. So that's been going quite some time. But I got my oven. I have 2 ovens, and I have one preheating to 375. That will be for my cabbage bake for dinner. And then I have another one preheating to 350 for my eggs. So my eggs are 2 ingredients plus seasoning. That's it. So let me show you. Okay, so for my egg cups, I'm using turkey bacon and egg whites. Now I tell you, you definitely just spraying them with a little bit of cooking oil. And I'm just gonna make however many pieces of bacon I have. I probably can do 2 per slice of the turkey bacon. The turkey bacon I use is from Costco, and it's only 1 point per piece. But I think 1 piece is gonna be too big. Let me see. No, okay, 1 piece is like perfect, right? So yeah, that'll work. Yep. So I'm just gonna, so there will be 1 point each. And the reason why I do this with bacon a lot, usually I add vegetables, and I highly suggest if you have any vegetables, zucchini, spinach, mushrooms, peppers, onions, any of that you can add. But honestly, I enjoyed the combo. I had breakfast tacos this week with egg whites and turkey bacon. I enjoyed that combo so much, and I wanted to keep it simple. So I'm just doing turkey and egg whites. That is it. The turkey's so flavorful that I really don't miss other flavors. Okay, and then just literally fill it with egg whites. When I do it with bacon, sometimes I'll like pre-bake the bacon so it can get some cookedness done. But with the turkey bacon, I don't think it's gonna need it. And I also think it's gonna work better because I think they're gonna like stay up. I filled that one too full. It's about to overflow. But yeah, the bacon isn't, when you use normal bacon, what I'm trying to say is like the bacon collapses in there, where I don't think that's going to happen with these. So I think it's going to be great. I'm going to do some fresh cracked pepper and then just a little bit of salt, not too much because I do think the turkey bacon's quite salty, just like regular bacon. That's it. And then that's as simple as that. I'll show you what they are when they come out. I will eat probably, I think I said it, but I think I'll eat like 2 every morning probably. So 3 days worth. What did that take me? 2 minutes. But if you want to take the time, highly suggest adding the vegetables. I just didn't want to take the time, so I'm not going to. Into a hot oven for around probably 15 to 20 minutes, just until the egg whites no longer jiggle. I will say one thing I probably should have done, I'm not going to do it now, but I probably will do it in the future, is I should have cut the bacon in half long ways, and then I could have gotten 2 per piece of bacon, because I'm a little afraid, I don't know how the top of the bacon's going to do into the oven, but we shall see. We're going to move on to the second dinner, which originally this recipe calls for ground beef, but to save money and points, I'm using 98% lean ground turkey. So this recipe may be a 0-point recipe. I'm not sure about the seasonings, but we shall see. Okay, so 2 pounds. Mix 1 package of onion soup mix. I'm just going to use 1 of these. And then the equivalent of ranch. So one of these packages is, how many is in the envelope? So it's 1 ounce also of the Hidden Valley packages. But I don't have a package, I just buy the big one. And I'm gonna add some salt, a couple teaspoons. We'll layer the flavor, or actually 1 teaspoon, and then we'll layer as we go. Black pepper. And now I'm gonna use gloves just because, well, ever since I've started using gloves in the kitchen, I just love it. And they're so cheap that it's just so easy. So now you just take it and you're gonna mix it all together. Okay, and then once you get that mixed fairly well, it doesn't have to be perfect, you just push it into the bottom. And I like to try to push it as hard as I can because I like to have lots and lots of room for my vegetables, which I have to go prep. Hadn't done that. So everything's in there in 1 layer, probably about 1/4 to 1/2 inch deep on the bottom of this Dutch oven. Not really too sure that size. I would say it's like comparable to a regular Dutch oven size, like your traditional size you see. Now this recipe does have quite a bit of prep, but it's really just peeling your potatoes. Not sure how many I'm going to use. I'm going to save some of the bigger ones in case we want to have baked potatoes. But even though it's more of a hassle to peel them, oh well. So you can really use however many potatoes. Oh, I don't know why I said this was a 0-point recipe. Obviously it's not. We have potatoes. So I'm going to get these peeled and then we'll chop them up. I got 7 small potatoes all cleaned up, and I'm just going to weigh them so I can make sure I get my accurate points. I'm thinking I'm going to have to do more potatoes, but I just wanted to get us started. So I am using 634 grams of potatoes. The turkey meat I didn't have to count. Just looking at the nutrition to make sure the one I scanned in is the accurate one. Okay, so it is 1 point per serving, and I am using 4 servings. That's how many are in one pouch. So it's 3 points for the onion soup mix, not onions. This onion soup mix, this particular brand. And then the Hidden Valley Ranch 1 ounce is 5 points. I'm doing this now because I want to know, I don't want to make it too many points. So I'm trying to do it look before. So I'm trying to figure out the points now so I can determine if I want to add more potatoes or not. I basically know how many servings this meal makes, so I want to check the points and adjust accordingly, more or less potatoes, because that's really the only thing I can adjust. So 634 is 11 points, and I want to see how many I can go up to till it changes. Okay, so not much. So that's 11 points. So far my whole meal, let's get my handy dandy calculator. Whoop, that is not my calculator. So we got 11 points for the potatoes, 3 points for the onion, 5 points for the ranch. So it's 19 points. And I think this is 1, 2, 3, 4. I would say 5, if not 6. So it's like a 4-point serving. If I do 6, it is so it's like 3 or 4 points either way. So I can definitely add a little more potatoes if needed. Sorry for that long-winded explanation. Now, all you want to do is cut your potatoes into rounds, and I do like 1/4 of an inch. I do not want a serrated knife. Yeah, I don't know why I grabbed a serrated knife. But yeah, about that thickness. And you want to be fairly consistent just so everything cooks evenly. Okay, so I'm going to chop all these up and then we'll be back. I'm also going to give a rough chop to my carrots. Those are baby carrots, and I'm going to cut them probably into bite-sized pieces. This is a 2-pound bag, and I'm going to do at least half. Bulk it up with 0-point vegetables rather than the point ones like the potatoes. I'm going to store the rest of them in my storage container. This is overkill, but all my smaller sizes are being used. I wish these would come back to Costco so badly too, but just put them in there. And then with carrots, you add some water in the bottom and you close the air vents. I also need to dice up or slice up into rounds at least 1 onion. I may do 2, we shall see. Yeah, I'm gonna want definitely a second onion. You can use 1 large or 2 medium, small-ish. Time to check the eggs. Alexa, turn off the timer. So the eggs have been in there for 15 minutes, but they are not done. So giving them another 3 minutes. I also need to prep the cabbage, but I need room on my cutting board, so we're gonna go ahead and get rid of some of this stuff. I don't remember if I've shown this recipe on my channel before, but I feel like now that I'm making it, maybe I have. But you just took your potatoes and you just put them directly on top of the meat, and I'm trying to push them, not push them down much, but you know, just a little at least. And this is going to be more than enough potatoes. I can already tell. Because I don't do but one layer of potato really. I'll use whatever I have, but I don't layer the potato much. I know other people in my family, when they make this, they'll do more potato, and that's because they like a more potato recipe versus more of the vegetables. I use way more of the vegetables, the cabbage and I mean, obviously potatoes are a vegetable, but the cabbage and carrots. I like the cabbage and carrots and onions a lot more than the potatoes, which I'm just not a huge potato fan. But man, I cut so many potatoes. I'm going to make 2 layers this time. But that's okay because the shape of my potatoes is really leaving open space. Usually if you have bigger potatoes, you don't have open space. So you just do the best you can. It definitely does not have to be perfect at all. When it cooks down, you won't even notice like exactly where the potatoes are and everything. So, but adding more potatoes does make it more filling, especially when you're not doing like the 2 or 3 pounds of meat. You know, the potatoes help bulk it up. You'll see when I add the cabbage, I'm going to really, really push it down. If you have a deeper Dutch oven, that's even really good because then you can get more cabbage. I will sometimes let it cook and it naturally will go down, and then I add more cabbage on top. Okay, so I got a nice layer of potatoes, more than usual, but that is a-okay. And then my sliced onion sprinkled on top. It may seem like a lot of onion, but I tell you, the way it cooks with the cabbage and the meat and everything else, it doesn't seem like that many at the time, I promise. Okay, and then your carrots on top of that. Some people in my family put the carrots on top of the cabbage. I like to do it this way. If you put it on top of the cabbage, I feel like they roll off easier. And I find when this bakes, like the carrots are like my favorite part. So definitely like a lot of carrots. The real recipe, my family will add butter. Yeah, I don't do that. I don't really find it necessary. But what I do is make sure every layer is seasoned. You have to tell me if you watch my channel a lot. Have I showed this before? Can't remember. Okay, final prep for this meal is the cabbage. Let me get this off the counter. I hardly ever buy potatoes just because they're not my fave. But I find when I do buy them and I'll have leftovers, it's nice to have them on hand. I always end up finding uses for them. Obviously, you could buy already cut up cabbage. That will definitely save you some time. I'm going to pop off the outer leaves. I will probably honestly use them, but just to wash it and to make it easier, like, see there? That's a bug. I watched a video. Let's go watch this and I'll tell you. Whoops, I turned you off. But I was watching a cooking video. It was a day in my life or what I eat in a day. I don't know, something. But the girl, she was making a salad in her package of romaine. You know how romaine comes like 3 balls, 3 stalks of lettuce. Well, when she opened it up, there was a bug and she freaked out and she wouldn't use any of the lettuce. She threw it away. And I was like, I find bugs in my lettuce on the regular. So I don't know. I always just wash them away. You guys tell me. What do y'all do if y'all see bugs? I don't know. For cabbage, I don't wash it all. I just do the outer layers because this tied in there, I've never had an issue. So you can chop it however you like. This part does not matter at all. I find I just kind of like cut it off. And then I will cut it like that. This one. And then just shred it up kind of. That's just chunk it however you want. It does not matter. Again, it will cook down to like nothing. And I just go, usually I do 4s and then I'll go back and get the rest. Now with the stalk, I just do my best to cut what I can. It's just as edible as the rest. Especially in a meal like this that like cooks down. If you're adding it to a salad or something, I wouldn't go this close to the core, but since this cooks down, it's fine. I'm going to leave the big leaves alone until I see if I like actually need them. So here's the part that's fun. Trying to get all that cabbage into this bowl. You gotta work at it. I find you gotta work. You gotta push, push, push. So this one's not that bad. I guess that cabbage head wasn't that big. Usually I'm like really, really struggling to push. Another layer of salt and pepper. And this is where my family puts like butter dollops on the top. I really just don't find you need it. The lid's kind of popping off for now, but once it cooks a little, it will go down into a 375-degree oven. This will bake for at least an hour. My lunch prep is going to be super easy. I hope it turns out, but it just came to me. I was just thinking, what can I do that's super low points, because I know that the night we eat that crock pot meal is going to be a little higher points. So I've had this fire roasted vegetable left over in my freezer for a while. It's really good. I just don't use it that much. So I'm going to cook up that. And I thought adding these little mini chicken wontons. These are, one serving is only 3 points. The vegetables are 0. And then I was like, I don't know if that'll be filling enough. I thought I would pair it with some rice. Well, while digging in my freezer, I found this riced cauliflower, which I've never tried. And it has an Asian flair. So this is what combo I'm gonna go for lunch. So it'll be like super low points. But there is, how many servings in here? 4.5. Let's see, how do you cook it? 2 tablespoons of oil or butter in a non-stick wok. Add stir fry 6 to 7 minutes. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna saute the vegetables. Super, super simple. Now we'll see if it turns out very good. I have this sesame oil that came with a dinner the other night that I didn't use. And what better way than to use it up right now? I know that's points, but I think it'll add like really good flavor to the cauliflower rice. I plan to do the whole bag of wontons just like I'd normally cook them at home, which is I microwave them with a little bit of water and then I put them in the air fryer. But I'm scared of how these will reheat up at lunch. So instead, I'm just gonna do 1 portion prepared. And then if it works out, then the next time I'll just do the whole bag. But at this point, I'm just gonna do 1 in case I need to make them like fresh, you know? Or like just microwave them at work or whatever. So 1 serving is 8 wontons. 1, 2. I just add like a splash of water. And I'm gonna pop them in the microwave for 60 seconds just to let them steam a little before air frying. My oil is nice and heated. This, actually it's the sesame oil. It smells so good. Okay, got that in there. And y'all may think I'm crazy, but I love peas so much. These particular frozen peas from Trader Joe's are absolutely delicious. So in order to bulk it up, I'm gonna use what I got. I find that egg cups are so much easier to get out like right at the beginning. So I'm not gonna let them sit. I'm gonna try to get them out. I like use this 2-prong poker. Can you see it? It helps. It came with some like donut maker I had so long ago, but I find that I use this so much in the kitchen that the donut maker's long gone, but this stayed. So that is what they look like. The turkey bacon seemed to like stay pretty well. It didn't get too crunchy on the top, so these will be perfect. I'm just putting them into the same paper or plastic bag that the turkey bacon was in. You know, reduce, reuse. And it took them about 20 minutes to cook. So once your air fryer is heated, the other day I put one of my liners in before it was heated. Yeah, it flew to the top and like burnt to a crisp. So don't do that. I have been loving these though. I'm just gonna take my little dumplings and put them straight in. You can just air fry them, but I find that I like the texture of doing the combo. I'm gonna do them probably only like 5 minutes because these will get microwaved the day I eat them. In my same pan, I'm just gonna cook up the rest of these vegetables. It has Brussels sprouts, peppers, mushrooms, onion. See how freezer burnt they are? But they are good. I don't know why, and they're fire roasted. I just didn't use them as often as I should to go through the bag. My vegetables are nice and thawed and cooked up. I'm gonna turn those off and divide them over my 3 bowls. I'm telling you, every meal prep and every lunch, dinner, yada, 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 does not have to be mind-blowing, complicated. As long as you can eat it and you're enjoying it, it is what it is. Weight loss is not easy. If we loved every single weight loss meal, everyone would be thin as they wanted to be. So, that being said, I do not think this is a 5-star meal, but it's going to be healthy and nutritious, giving me a lot of great vegetables and nutrition, and therefore nutrition. Okay, so I got my bed of vegetables. And like I said, I only prepped wontons for one of the bowls just because I'm worried about how it's going to heat up and whatnot. They turn out like this. You can see they have some color, but they're not like 100% like fried, which I prefer. So I'm just going to put them on the outside of my bowl. Next time I would have sprayed my liner. I feel like they stuck to the liner, which I didn't expect that. So let's get fancy and add some sesame seeds. I think it just makes it look prettier. So there she is, friends. So it is, hang on, can't remember. It is 3 points for 8 wontons. The vegetables are 0. And then the fried rice, it was 1 point per serving that made into 3. That did not change it. The bag had 4 servings, but making it into 3 servings did not add a point. However, since I use that sesame oil, I am going to add a point. So these bowls are 5 points total. It'll be something different too. Breakfast and lunch are completely done. My crock pot has 4.5 minutes. And then my oven, Alexa, how much time is left on the timer?
You have 38 minutes left on your 1-hour timer.
Yeah, and that may take longer than an hour. I just check it, and ultimately, if the carrots and potatoes are pork tender, then it's done. So I really wish I would have timed myself because I feel like it hasn't been that long that I've been here cooking at all. Wasn't a hard meal prep. Gotta love that for myself. So while everything's cooking, I'm gonna go hop in the shower and then I'll be back to have a cover photo. So my cover photo, I won't be in this, and that is why. We have 2 hours left, so I'm gonna go ahead and prep the gravy. I'm just using 2 packets of this brown gravy. You could just pour them in, but it dissolves best in cold water. So I'm gonna do them in a little bit of water over here to the side. They each call for a cup of water, but I'm not gonna do all that because there's already so much liquid in here, so you don't have to follow that instructions. But I'll be curious to figure out the points on this. It'll just be the gravy, the meat, and the rice. That is it. So I'm gonna get this whisked together, and then I'm just gonna pour it in, and then I'm gonna turn it on high because with these gravies mixes, to get them to thicken, I think they need to like boil, and I know it won't boil in here, but it'll at least simmer. It is smelling delicious. I'm gonna cover this and turn it on high and let it cook for the remaining 2 hours. There is the casserole dish. Looks yummy. The hardest decision is gonna be which one to eat tonight. So it has been the 8 hours, and the beef tips and peppers and onions is done. I did the math. 1.3 pounds of lean stew meat is 19 points, and then the McCormick brown gravy mix for 2 of them was 6 points. So all in all, this whole container is 25 points. So we'll probably do it in 5 portion servings to make 5 points each, but I will serve it over rice for some additional points. But again, you can control all that. So this is it. Looks yummy. We're ready to eat. Okay, friends, I have to say this was my easiest meal prep yet. I'm just really counting on that lunch to be good. Fingers crossed there. Breakfast, they smell great. The 2 dinners smell great. These are great dinners to pair together because they're so simple to make. Okay, see y'all next time. Bye.